Alright, hello everybody. Today's episode we're gonna talk about how to make an avatar from scratch for our VR platform. This could be used for Somnian or this could be used for VR chat. They do have their differences, mostly on the side of technicalities like how the file size and how many blend shapes you can add to a character and whatnot, but they are basically the same bone structure. They use a humanoid rig, and you can just make any type of character that you want. All right, so let's dive into it. First thing I want to show you guys is it's very important that you always have a reference. You always need to have a reference of what you're doing. That's very good practice. And some people might argue that is like cheating. That is not the case. That is not true. You want to have references so you can have clear vision. Okay, so something I use a lot is called Pure Rep, and this is not sponsored by them, but it's just a very good free product that they have. You can always support them. And what it allows you to do, and here's the website, I'll put it in the description below. It allows you to just copy and paste images. I'm gonna show you how it works. I'm gonna go to Pinterest and I put here sci-fi creature characters. I think I'm gonna do something sci-fi-ish, and I'm just gonna pick a couple of these guys that I want to do. This one seems pretty cool. I'll copy this image, open my Pure Rep, and Control V to paste it, and I can have this saved here for reference while I'm working on the model. Let's grab another one. I think this guy is pretty nifty. I like the body shape itself. Put that here. Let's look for another one. Would be nice if you guys could just say, oh, I like that one, pick that one. Okay. Oh, 4 arms. That should be interesting, but I want to keep it simple, just for like humanoid, because I'm not really sure we can achieve 4 arms in Somnian yet. If it's possible, I'll probably do another tutorial how to use multiple limbs. These are quite fun in VR chat. Okay, so I think maybe we can add a tail. Have something like a tail on the character itself. I think that would be fun to have. So maybe let's find kind of a fishy tail. Man, so many characters, right? Okay, let's move to, instead of sci-fi, just creature characters. There we go. Okay. Oh man, I love this type of characters. Oh, this is so nice. Actually, I'm gonna copy this guy and maybe we can do something halfway there. I like 2D characters. Yeah, that's kind of my kryptonite. I enjoy doing 2D characters a lot. That should be fun. Adding like a flame tail. So yeah, you wanna, Pinterest is like super awesome to get references. I would totally encourage everybody to just go into Pinterest and just scroll around and check what you can find. There's so much art here that is so nice, and it's just, it's like, I can't even believe it's for free. You can just see all this artwork and get references from it. Alright, so we didn't find a tail that I kind of liked. But we'll do just a regular, maybe kind of dinosaurish tail. Hold on, let's check this in here. Sketches. Yep. Creature design. So you can just go all day looking at these. Oh, these are nice. This one's kind of cool. This one is like okay, I think we can work with something similar to that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, let's do something similar to that. So let's copy this image as well, drop it here, and you can drop as many as you want. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower this, gonna right click on my pure ref, go into mode and overlay selection. This is just gonna get rid of that dark background, and it allows me to just resize these and move them around my screen. They'll always be on top of what I'm working on, which is super awesome. Make it smaller here. So I have a new Blender project here, right? I'm gonna go ahead and save it so I can just keep saving. And let's go to my tutorials here. Make how to make toys VR avatars. There we go. How to make VR avatars. So here it's gonna call creature 1. Cool. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is gonna delete those, and let me turn on this time, because I always forget. Let's turn on my, well, the thing that shows the keys. Here you go. Shortcut VUR thing. Okay, anyway, so we can see, I can show you here what I'm clicking. You should be able to see that. Let's put it in red. Probably. Let's see. Yep, cool. It's more flashy that way. You can see it. Perfect. So we got a cube. This cube, we're gonna go into edit mode. We're going to Control E to subdivide, and okay, let's turn pure ref off for a second so I can do subdivision here. And I'm gonna do just 4 cuts for now, and then up the smoothness. You know what? Let's do 3 cuts. I want to try to keep the polygons as low as possible. You can always add more, but you want to try to keep the polygons as smooth as possible. Okay, so this technique is relatively new to me. It's not one that I've seen often. I'm making modeling characters without sculpting, and to me it's one of the best technique I've seen in a while. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna select all this line down here and just gonna select all the way to this part on the top of these cubes. You have to be in face option, and then we're gonna extrude, right? I'm gonna right click to just release, and then scale. I'm gonna scale up to here, and then I'm gonna G and pull on the Z axis to kind of align it down like that. Then I'm gonna hold Alt, select, hold Alt and Shift and select, so you can select all these without deselecting these. And then I'm gonna Control I to invert, X to delete face. It's gonna get rid of that ball. What we just created here, this is basically, let me get rid of this line as well. We're not gonna use these. Okay, so basically this is a chest. That's what we're building here. We're building a chest. Okay, so now I'm gonna add 2 loop cuts, Control R, and I'm going to Alt select these, go to my tool, the loop tools, and if you don't have those, just as a refresher, you go to add-ons and type loop, enable that, and as well you want to have outer mirror enabled as well, which is this. You want to have those two. Those are very important to have. They save you so much time. So we're gonna relax this, and I'm gonna Shift Alt select these guys as well. I'm gonna smooth them out. Gonna do the same for these here, and I'm smoothing just till that line there kind of flattens out. Cool. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to face mode and select these down here. Let's see. And you want to leave 1 in between and have 4 on top. So this part here is going to be the arm, this is going to be the chest, and this part here is going to be the armpit. Yeah, that's the armpit. Okay, so we're going to extrude on the z-axis, extrude it down, and let's go back to our reference here. I was just making a basic body shape, but what I think I'm gonna go with this guy for somewhat the body that I'm gonna be using as reference. Kind of like that big forearms, kind of curved back. It's pretty cool. Okay, so we're having the chest here. I'm gonna scale on the Z and 0, flatten that out. Now I'm gonna grab these 4, go into my Y perspective, and I'm going to extrude like so, scale it down a bit, and then scale X 0, flatten that out. I'm gonna do a loop cut, scale X and 0, flatten that out. Now, next part we're going to do is we're going to grab this right here, and we're gonna pull it out down. So what I'm thinking is that I probably want another loop here, and you want to be careful how many extra loops you're adding, just because you want to keep it as, you know, as low poly as possible. But these loops are gonna be good, so I'm gonna lower this here because I want to make a nice pelvis area. That's gonna help a lot. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab these lines here, holding Control. I'm gonna just move around, just selecting all around it, and then I'm gonna relax this. Perfect. Let's move this so it's a little bit flat there, and scale it in. Good. Now select my faces, X, and delete those faces. I'm gonna also put 2 of these, S, Z, 0. Sorry, you have to do it one at a time. S, Z, and 0, and then I'll select this one, S, Z, 0. Make it like so. Now I'm gonna go into object mode and go to my auto mirror and mirror this right here. Perfect. It's coming out nice. And it just looks wonky at this time, but you'll get it. It's well, almost done with just the basic shapes. Now I'm gonna kind of lower this like so, pull it to the side a bit, pull it down, kind of like that. Then I'm gonna extrude down, maybe a little bit down, because we're gonna do some bendy legs. Maybe use these legs as references. Those are kind of cool. That's kind of a golem type, but we'll see. Okay, now I'm gonna scale Z0, flatten that out. I'm gonna do 1 loop cut on the knee area, which is kind of around there. S, Z0, flatten that out. And yep, we got our basic body. Super awesome. Let's go to face mode, X, leave those faces. Go to edge mode, and we're gonna just start to smooth things out. Relax, relax. Grab this with Control, like so. Do a relax there, just to expand those lines because we added a couple of them, and I want them to have even spacing. And at first you want to try to have the best edge flow as possible, and I'm not super good at edge flow. I have a lot to learn still, but I do know that good edge flow in the beginning saves you a lot of time, and I've had that issue many times myself. So now let's grab these guys right here, yeah, like those, and we're gonna try to expand those and make a better edge flow. I think that looks good. And then go back here. Again, this is just going back and forth in the same areas, just trying to get them to have a nice flow. And it won't be perfect in the beginning, but you'll get there. Okay, so I think it's good enough. I'm gonna hit Control S to save. Remember to save as much as you can. I'm gonna do a loop here, and I'm gonna grab this loop here and I'm gonna do this. Yeah, perfect. Now I'm gonna double G and pull this up. I'm gonna grab this one as well, double G, and move this kind of there. Do the same here. Good. Okay. Next step is we're gonna make the neck. Gonna go into our Y perspective orthographic view. Let's close this. I'm gonna, oh yeah, let's do some relaxing, and then I'm gonna do extrude up S on the Z, and let's do 0. That should flatten it out. Let's do relax multiple times, so we want to kind of get that all smooth out. So this curve here, it's happening because we are on mirror mode, and if we go to object mode and apply this and then do some of the relaxing again, it would relax a lot better. But since we were in mirror mode, it was relaxing with the reference in the center itself. What we can do is that we can just go and do this circle. We'll make a nice circle for us there and do some relaxing. Yep, that's good for now. Now we're gonna go into sculpt mode. We're gonna grab G for the grab tool, make it a little bit bigger, and we're gonna start pulling this part. Now let's go to the Y just to make sure that you are in the right perspective, because you want to pull the chest forward. That's what you want to pull. You don't want to pull the back forward, just pull the chest. So we're having that chest forward. Oops. And then in the back we're gonna pull as well, but we're just gonna pull mostly the shoulders. Let's lower this so I can do some smoothing. Pull that, keep pulling. Let's do some smoothing again. Pull. Now let's pull this part here. Pull the butt. Cool. Now, what I'm gonna do is kind of pull this forward. There we go. And just with the grab tool, you kind of polish it and make it nicer, get all that silhouette and shape that you want to have. So you can see it has a nice edge flow on the character itself. So when we are going to rig it and animate it, it's gonna animate super good. Okay, so now let's go back to edit mode, and I'm gonna add two edge loops here. Actually, let's go to object, auto mirror, and let's do those here. Let's do 2 loops here as well. Let's do 2 here and 2 here. Okay, so here, scale x0, scale x0, and I want to have these straight. It's a lot easier to deal with down the road, and those seem to be straight, so that's good. Alright, so I'm gonna add another loop here. I'm gonna scale it down, and see, it's scaling from within the center. Let's try individual origin, see if that helps. No, it doesn't. Okay, so go to object, I'm gonna apply it, and just go back to edit, and now it'll scale down properly. I probably should find a way to do that within, but it's no biggie. It's not like it will break your workflow. So let's do this. Gonna scale this down. Let me do some relaxing as well. Here, like this. There we go. I want to have this edge there is very nice to have, so it has that flow right there. When the arm will stretch up and down, it'll be super nice. So we'll have this space here to bend. Okay. Alright, so let's go here. I'm gonna smooth this part in and pull the chest out. Our dude is gonna have like a odd chest. That's cool. Go to edit mode, and now we're gonna relax this. Trying to make it as, you know, round as it can be. Cool. Alright, later down the road we're gonna be merging a few of these verts just to create some flow as well. But for now this is good. No problem. Okay, so currently we have basic body. This is good. Let's polish these legs a bit. Go like so. So these could be thicker here. Gonna add another loop here for the knee. Move this down a bit. Yeah, now I can make this go to my X view, G, move it on the Y to create that half. Move this up a bit. Move it forward a tad. Let's move this back a bit. Select this, scale Z and flatten it out. Scale Z and flatten it out. Add just a basic leg, and then I'm not sure if I want to do this type of leg, or I kind of like these as well. They're pretty nifty. I like those kind of cartoony style, but we'll see. We'll just stick with this for now. We're gonna always modify it later. Auto mirror. Now let's go here. Scale this. Scale it down. Let's do another loop here. And this arm doesn't seem to be proportionate. So what we're going to do is I'm gonna grab these guys here, and I'm gonna enable this. This is proportional editing, and what's gonna create is this circle here. This circle, as you can see, allows me to, modify anything that's within it. So, and you control this with your mouse scroll wheel. You scroll and it'll make it bigger or smaller. So what I'm gonna do is G, X, and start pulling. So I make this pull this area here, but I don't want to pull the shoulder itself, so I'm just pulling the arm there, and I want to make it rather long, kind of longish. So one way you can measure things is by doing this. You have measure here, and you can go like, okay, from what point is it gonna bend? So it's gonna be 10. Alright, 10.7. So let's do oops, let's merge, let's put this down here, so it should be about 10.7. so it'll be here. So that's a bit too long. That's a bit too long. So now I'm gonna grab this again, I'm gonna pull on the X a little bit in, because we're gonna have a hand. So you want to check those. So let's pull this here and here. So it's 8.3, and now with the hand, let's say we're gonna have 10.6 with the hand, 10.6. Yep, that's perfect right there. So remember, you can use the measure tool just to make sure your proportions are correct, even if you don't have like a character sheet. But if you have a character sheet, like it has all the positions, you can just measure it towards it. Okay, and of course if you're not using multiple, because I'm using multiple, and sometimes you know, you're doing the body from one, the arms from the other one. Okay, so the next thing I want to do with measure is currently we are at 22, so this character is super huge. We're gonna scale it down to 1.8 after we're finished with it. Just so you know, 1.8, 1.9 is kind of the regular humanoid size for Unity. Alright, let's go back here, save, and since we got our proportions right, I'm gonna start scaling down. Oops, turn this off. Scale this down, scale this down. Let's do a loop here. Scale it down as well. Okay, we'll do another loop here and make this guy really big. Oops, bigger here, bigger here, bigger here. So I want to go for the large arm, like so, kind of like that. So let's make this more to an arm. I'm gonna add another loop here, make this a bit thicker there. Okay, go to the top view, the Z axis. I'm gonna scale on the X 0, scale on the X 0, scale on the X 0, scale on the X 0. I'm gonna flatten these guys out, because when you are going to be rigging it and setting up the pose and all that, you want things to bend correctly. You don't want to have odd vertices that are just in the way and not bending as they should. So you want to keep things that are supposed to be straight. So I'm gonna grab these guys and move them down a bit. Double G, remember you can move a vert along the edge itself, so very handy. Save. As you can see, we're coming up, it's coming out as a nice body, and I know it might seem kind of odd at first. It's not the traditional way of making bodies from scratch, but in my opinion it's more efficient and it comes out a lot nicer. Okay, so I think we can do, let's go into our Y and do an extrude here. This is gonna be our wrist area. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna enable this right here, proportional editing, go into my faces. I'm gonna select this, and then on my Z view, I'm gonna G. On the Y, I'm gonna bend this a tad. Now I'm gonna go into my edge. Then I'm gonna rotate on the Z, go like that. Pull on the Y, G to pull. Well, let's pull with this one as well. G to pull. So I want to give it a slight bend. And we're gonna do the same for the knees. So go into the eggs here, select this, G on the Y. We're doing a slight bend. I'm gonna grab this down here, G on the Y, do another slight bend there. I'm gonna grab here, G, do kind of slight bend there, swell pull here so we match it. So now we have a nice slight bend and a nice straight body to work with. So far it's coming out super nice. Okay, let's see. So the next part, this is, to be honest, more of a trial and error area for me. I'm always learning. I think this is something that you can always learn how to do it better, 3D modeling. So, but this part is where I'm gonna try to clean up my mesh. I'm gonna try to clean it up and get rid of try to get rid of most of these. We don't need so many edges here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn this on. This is the merge setting. I'm gonna go to stay on verge. We can turn off pure rep and get rid of this for now. So what we're gonna start doing is we're gonna start merging vertices, and we're gonna keep in mind that we want to have certain areas that are bending. You need to get to allow sufficient sufficient edges in between so it bends correctly. So as an example, I'm gonna start by merging this here. I'm gonna get rid of let's see, actually I'll do it the other way around. I'm gonna merge them here, or probably in the center. So if you grab them both, you use M and merge a center, and then I'm gonna merge these here, merge them in center. Okay, I'm gonna leave those here because we're gonna bend here. This part is gonna bend, and probably gonna add another loop later down the road, but let's just leave that there for now. Another one I'm gonna merge together is going to be, let's merge these guys as well. Actually, to be honest, I think we can merge all of it. We can always add another loop, but I think we can merge all of it at this point. So now here I'm going to merge, let's see, we need to have this, but I don't think we need to have this whole loop. We just need to have enough here for it to bend at this point here, so we can merge these. Merge this guys here, okay. Then we're gonna move them around so they have more space to be. Oh, I think we can merge these as well. can probably merge these guys as well here. Yeah. All these. This here. Actually, you know what? Let's go. I'm doing Control C to go back. I'm gonna merge these guys instead. Like I said, this is kind of a trial and error type thing. I want to try to keep them as symmetrical as I can. So this goes here, and this one goes in here. And so far we got rid of a couple of them, so we can also get rid of probably this one right here. Let's merge it with this one, merge this here, merge this here. No, I'm gonna keep these here. Okay, so now I think we got rid of most of it. That's good. It has less birds here to work with, which was a lot of them. Didn't need those. And so far we're working with a 464 tris body. That's well poly so far, and it's coming out rather nicely. If you smooth it out, you can hand paint it and you'll hardly notice it's low poly. Hardly. you could. Okay, so now let's go back to our pure rep here, and let's choose the legs. Let's just go over that. I'm really inclined to going for something like this, but to be honest, it might not work as well with the rig. I'm not entirely sure it will work for both. I've done it in Beer Chat, haven't done it in Somnian. So I'll stick with just the common legs like this guy, and probably do a more crazy one on my own and see if I can get it to work. And if it works, then I'll do a tutorial on, you know, complex creatures. Alright, cool. So got this. Let's go to sculpt mode, and I'm gonna use this inflate. And I'm gonna do some inflating on here. So it has that kind of big part in the back. I don't want to have. It's cool. Another odd back there. Let's do the chest as well. So the chest is bigger just because of the body being all pulled in. But it's alright. Gonna do that shape when we go into the rig part. It's a lot easier to work with, but that's good. Hump in the back there. Do a little more here, kind of like that. Grab my tool. Oh, we're in mirror mode. What? Let's apply this. It's easier to work with. We can add that later as well. Let's pull these birds here and try to keep that edge flow as it was before. Cool. If you get closer, you can manipulate less, because you only manipulate what's inside the circle. So that's a good way of not having to go like this. You can just move out and move a lot more. Go in, move less. And so now we're gonna move this guy here. Organize these. Move this forward. Lower this so I can. There. Bear. I made it small. think it's looking nice. Alright, got that nice body. Gonna pull that back later. I'm gonna add some details as well later down the road. Okay, so now let's do the head. For the head, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add another cube. Alright, pull it up. Let's hide this here and do edit. Same thing, subdivide. I'm gonna subdivide by 4 because I want to have a centerpiece and 4 areas here for the eye socket. Okay, so that's good. Now I'm gonna go into, oops, just move it up a bit also so we can work with it. Go to the X side view, and then I'm gonna go to sculpt. And actually, let me look at my references here and see. I like this head, big eyes, so I'm gonna go with this head here. Which is pretty cool. Okay, so that head, let's go to the frontal view. Let's pull this like so. Yeah. So this is a 2D image, so be aware that you have to add the 3D portion of it. This is going to be seen from all the sides, so you want to create you have to be a little bit more creative in this sense. You have to make sure that when it's seen from the side, it also makes sense, you know. Okay, that's cool. Like so. Now let's go into edit mode, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna select our eye area. Actually, I'm gonna select these. Make the mouth here. Now let's select these, and then we can make them bigger later down the road. So I'm going to subdivide these. Oops. Just done one at a time. I'm gonna subdivide this. Control X to clean it up. I'm gonna open my tool here and do a relax multiple times, turn it into a circle. I'm gonna extrude in, scale in, like so. I'm gonna eye, like so. Alright, so we have this eye socket looking good. Let's go and let's go to object mode and auto mirror so we can work with this better. So I'm gonna go into sculpt mode now. I'm gonna try to modify the eye itself how I want it to be. Kind of want it to have a kind of serious, maybe angryish look. Also want to make it a tad bigger. Yeah, I think it's nice eyes. Okay, something that you wanna do also in 3D when you're adding eye sockets is you wanna pull the side of your head and try to have it as flat as possible, because sometimes we leave this part all the way down here, which looks okay like in 2D because you want to show the eye itself. But when it's all the way down here, the eye doesn't behave correctly, and you want to try to flatten that as much as you can. Of course, keeping the look, but you want to try to not leave this all the way back here, because then it's gonna be super uncomfortable to add the eyeball in there and make it work correctly. actually gonna do another insert, relax it more, go G and pull it back. I want to have more space there. Alright, cool. Now let's do the mouth. Gonna G, move the mouth a little bit up here. I'm gonna do same. Oh, actually gonna apply this, and I'm going to do the mouth like so because I'm gonna use the relax and I want it to relax evenly. So let's do subdivide, X to clean, and do a relax here. Just keep hitting relax until you're comfortable with it. Now I'm gonna scale on the X. I'm gonna insert, pull in a little bit like so, insert again, and make sure these don't meet. You want to turn this off at this point. Then you're gonna insert on the Y like so. That's enough for there. And then X and delete the face. Now what you just have to do is go into sculpt mode, make this not as strong, and kind of polish this a little bit. Yeah, kind of polish that a little bit so it's not all the way in. Go into edit, and then you can go back and round it again. So now I want to go ahead and do some connections, because at this point we want to be able to do some blend shapes, and to do some nice blend shapes you want to have good edge flow in the face. So I'm gonna do these connections here, pull this all the way up here for my nose. Yeah, that seems to be. Let's see what happened here. Okay, that worked. There. And the tool I'm using is K. I select K, and it'll give me the knife tool, so it'll allow me to do these connections here. K tool. And you don't have to do these. I just do them because in the end I might probably do them anyway, so I'll do them now. Probably delete them as well. There's a chance that I'll be deleting them. We'll see what happens. Okay, so at this point what I'm gonna do is start moving vertices around. So I'm actually gonna add a mirror as well, so I can do this just once. Around here, actually move this guy a tad. So let's see, you up, great. And we're gonna move you here, move you here. I have a little continuity on this side here. Not there. Pull you back in. Pull you out. Put one here. Okay. Let's put that out. I'm gonna use split normals. Same with this one, smooth that out, split normals. Awesome sauce. Alright, so let's see. That kind of bubbly, transparent thing is very cool. I think it could be an interesting thing to have, especially if we add some dynamic bones to it. But let's just connect this first. So at this point, we're gonna get rid of these down here. Let's see. Actually, I want to keep these. Let's use this down here. X, delete the faces. Now what I'm gonna do is go like so, and let's apply the mirror, go to edit mode, and start relaxing. Now on my X view, I'm gonna select it all, move this forward a tad. Maybe I want it taller, like so. Yeah, have a long neck. And extrude. Rotate it, make it smaller. And extrude again. Rotate it, make it larger like so. Let's see. I think it's cool. And we're gonna extrude these guys as well. Okay, let's move it up a tad so we can see what's happening. Now what we're gonna do is gonna grab this and this, Control J, merge them, and now we're gonna try to connect these up. Okay, go to vert. Let's start selecting. So I'm gonna connect to the last. I'm always gonna select this, the part of the neck, and last the part is on the body, so it connects and aligns to this part of the body. So first this neck, second this one, M, at last, and they all connect to that. These two guys we can merge at center. We can select now and merge at last. Okay. Now I believe, let's see. This connection here, we want to have this last, this at last, this at last, this at last, this at last, and this at, oops, this at last. And now we can go and do another mirror. We got that connected. Awesomeness. Now let's kind of align these guys a little bit. I'm moving these with double G, just doing G twice, move them along the axis. So I don't want to, get it out of the way. Just want to kind of smooth out the edge flow, like so. Now we're gonna go to sculpt mode and kind of smooth this a bit. Yeah, good. Do some smoothing. You smooth by holding down shift. Let's pull this up here. Kind of like that edge forming there as well. Be nice for hand painting some detail there. Alright. Cool. So we have a head attached to the body. Body's looking good. Let's see if this guy has any. That's for the tail. Although these hairs are kind of cool, how to think of it. This might be nice to have. Put some dynamic bones on it. But I'm kind of inclined on doing this bubbly type thing. Could be like a helmet. And I like the clothing on this one as well. Well, we can think a little bit about that later down the road. Let's keep on going doing the body. So let's just do some regular hands here. I'm gonna probably make these arms bigger. Yeah, like so. So next part we're going to do the hands. So hands to me are kind of one of the trickiest to make, to be honest. But there's a nice technique that I do. For me, it makes it a lot easier than the regular way that I've seen on the videos. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a cube. I'm gonna move my cube here. So go into Y view, move it and align it there, and I'm gonna scale it down. So if you look at your hand is kind of the shape of a cube, and it has a side that kind of sticks out and it gets narrower on the back. I'm gonna do is gonna make it a little bit shorter here. Into edit mode, gonna make 3 edge cuts like so. I'm gonna grab this one, and on top here I'm gonna pull it up. Go back, I'm actually gonna activate this. I'm gonna pull it on the X and then scroll down so it only affects that area there. And I want to have this kind of triangle area. Go to edge select and let's select this guys and just make it a tad smaller. And I'm gonna do 2 loops here. This one, scale X0. Oops. Turn this off. Scale X0, and this one scale X, and just kind of make it a little bit and just move it forward. Perfect. Now on face mode, we're gonna grab these, delete those, and what we're gonna do on this side is we're gonna grab we're going to So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this, activate proportional, G on the Z. I'm gonna pull that up a tad, give it that palm shape. It's gonna curve palm shape right there. Okay, now let's scale on the Y and kind of make it thicker. I think a thicker hand will be nice for this. Yeah, a little bit more like so, and go so. Yep, I think it's looking good. And I'm gonna grab this one and pull it a bit forward. Turn this off, save. Now what we're gonna do on our face mode is we're going to go to our Y view and we're gonna extrude on the X. Extrude, and your finger has the knuckle joint, the middle joint, and the tip of the finger joint. So this area here is the knuckle joint. We're gonna do the middle joint. Scale X0. Oops. Scale X0 so it flattens out. Now we're gonna go this view. Gonna scale it down a little bit, move it up a tad. I'm gonna rotate it a little bit front. We're gonna do kind of curve. If you hold your hand without forcing it to be straight, the fingers have a tad of a curve. We're gonna try to achieve that. Pull for the other finger. I'm gonna move it a tad down, rotate it a little bit, and then get the tip of the finger, rotate it and move it a little bit down, and try to keep the tip flattened compared to the direction of it. Good. I think we can actually go to edge mode and scale these fingers a bit. Good. save. So next part is we're gonna go to face mode, Shift, Alt, select these. We're gonna Control P, and this is gonna separate it, get rid of it. Next thing we're gonna do is gonna go into it, select this edge with Alt, Shift S, and cursor to select it. We're gonna move the cursor to this center right here. Tab out and right click to go to origin to 3D cursor. We want to have the origin here for later because we're gonna be duplicating this finger. Now let's select this and let's grab these, delete the faces, save it. Now what we're gonna do is we're going to add a subdivision modifier also for the finger. And I'm gonna select these guys and I'm gonna scale them on the Y. I'm gonna make them a little bit fatter. Maybe the hand not so much. But yeah, that finger needed a little bit of fattening. So let's see how it looks. Big finger, it's a big dude. I think looks good. Okay, so now let's hide this for now. I'm gonna now extrude this, rotate on the Z, and this is gonna be our thumb. This is gonna be our thumb area. So you can go ahead and delete this face. Now we can go in here. Actually, let me gonna add a couple of loops to these joints, because when the finger is going to bend, the rule of thumb in 3D modeling, as far as I know, is that you want to have a support edge on both sides and a bending edge in the center. That's the one that's gonna bend. So next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna grab these G, pull them up a tad, give it that finger cut down there, and then we're gonna grab these guys and pull them up, give it the knuckle feel, and then I'm gonna double G these to make them a little bit more spacious, have that bump have more sense. Perfect. Now you have, it has somewhat feel of finger. Good. Next thing we can do, we're gonna do is select these both, Control J to join them, and then I'm gonna hit this here, and it allows us to see a preview of how it's going to have the verge and the edges. I'm gonna go to Vert View and start merging. First the finger, second the hand, so we merge at last. First the finger, second the hand, we merge at last. Don't worry about those getting out of the way. It's normal. Merge at last. It'll get all fixed out after you finish, you see? Just get smoothed out. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab these. This finger. So, yeah, we have the whole finger. Okay, just a finger. Go to the Y view, and we're gonna duplicate this. We're gonna scale it on the X. Middle finger is a little bit larger. Move it on the X, like so. I'm gonna duplicate it. Actually, I'm gonna duplicate this one, because the ring finger is basically the same size as the index. So duplicate this. You'll be fine. We're gonna Control M to mirror on the Y, so we change the direction of this. Move that a little bit here. And I'm actually gonna grab this guy right here. and I'm gonna rotate it a little bit. Yeah, I'll rotate it a bit. I'm gonna move it a bit out. Okay, now let's go back to verts. Select this one right here. You can go inside the hand, sometimes it's a lot easier. And I'll ask this guy, I'm gonna enable this. Where is it? Here. Cavity. Okay, both. So we have, it looks more detailed. Also, to see there, last. And I still actually, I'm missing one finger. We could do 3 fingers, that's kind of cool. Let's do 4. Okay, so top, duplicate, and this is the small finger, so just gonna scale it down a little bit. Put him there. And go back to our joining. So this guy with this guy at last, this at last, this here at last, this and this at last. Now this one at last, this one at last. And just continue to merge these. So we have full hand. I'm gonna move these. Move these on the y-axis here a little bit. Okay, so now we need to kind of smooth these guys out. As you can see, they're kind of a little bent, and that's because I didn't account for the sizing from the beginning, and that's fine. There's always things that are going to happen, no biggie. Just keep in mind that you can most of the time fix anything that you have an issue with. So we're just gonna bend this guy a little bit like so, and go like so as well. Rotate him a little bit like that. Maybe not so much. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab this guy, duplicate him, and we're gonna make a thumb out of him. For that, I want to change this to local, rotate. Oh, actually, let's do something P to get out of it. I'm gonna Control A to apply rotation and scale, and then I can go here, rotate. That did not work as I expected, so let's just try to look at it from this perspective and rotate it, because the thumb it goes sideways, the thumb. Now we're gonna use this tool here. It's called Shrinken and Fatten. Now grab this tool and then pull this here. It'll make it thicker. I think that's thick enough for a finger, for a thumb there. Okay, cool. Now we're just gonna join it back again. Go into our verge, change our tool here, and do the same thing. Merge at last. Merge at last. Merge at last. Let's find it. Merge at last. Okay. Now that we have that happening, from double J and kinda expand these a little bit. Alright, that's good. Okay, so we have basic hand. This point we can do is also do some relaxation on this part. I'm gonna scale it down a tad there, and We can do an extrusion here, make it bigger. Actually make the hand a little bit thicker on this side. And let's scale it down on this side. Okay. Now, what I want to do is, look at this. Turn that off. What we can do is do some fixing here. Let's start grabbing and pulling. Make this better. Okay, so we can do some relaxing. Do some relaxing here. Let's see what's happening here. So we have this finger all the way up here. I want to keep these where they're supposed to be. That's why the hand feels all messed up. Like I said, hand has some technicalities to it, and honestly, it's something that I think you can never practice enough, especially if you're doing different types of hands. If you're doing like a very realistic type hand, for me, realism is rather simple, just because you have so many references that you just need to follow them. But when you get into the tune side and the creative side, it kind of gets a little harder to achieve in a way that looks good. So let's just do it, see how it goes, and be creative. Don't be afraid of trying things, and don't try to, I would say, don't try to please everybody with your artwork. Just try to please yourself, and then if you like it, then you can do some modifications with the feedback that you get, but you have to like it first. Sometimes you like something and some people will say, oh, that doesn't look good. I would not worry about that at all. I would just keep doing you. Make sure you like it, you enjoy it, because you know, the weirdest art sometimes it ends up being the coolest. I just think that the trick is that you have to like it yourself. So I'm in X-ray mode and I'm just moving birds around. Moving just birds around, trying to separate them. And those can be also as well fixed later. But it's good to fix things when you have them, when you see them. That way you don't have to deal with them later down the road. Let's make these smaller. They got stretched when we did the smoothing. So one thing that I also want to do is that the fingers, if you see them from your front view, they have somewhat of a rotation thing. They kind of rotate towards side. So kind of like that, and they all do that. So I'm gonna do that part. Just a tad of a rotation, like so. And this area here needs some work because the finger kind of needs to be pulled out, it seems. It needs to be like that. Oh yeah, that's good. It gives me more space for this finger as well. Let's pull it on this side. Now let's move this edge here, align that edge there. Yeah, this is one of the parts that you can see when things are not aligned correctly. They start to be annoying. So that's why initially I try to align things as much as I can. Well, there's always fixing, so no problem. Like so. Rotate this. Rotate it. Move the hand down. Alright. I'm sorry, I was taking a sip of whiskey here. Okay, so hands still could use some work, but I want to continue. We can go down this path later and fix it a little bit more, but at this point, to be honest, it looks good. And I'm a firm believer that everything and anything could always be better. So if you're a perfectionist, try to not get stuck trying to achieve perfect piece. Don't get stuck. Just try to move forward. You know, don't just do random things and whatever and however it comes out. That's not what I'm trying to say, but don't get stuck. And if you're a perfectionist, you know what I'm trying to tell you. Try to be a little bit more flexible. Now let's turn this on. Okay, good. It's better. What we're gonna do, I'm actually gonna save this and I'm gonna apply it. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna relax these guys. Go like so. I'm gonna relax this curve here. Let's turn that off there. Now, like this. Oops. Let's move you in there. Good. Now let's do you. Stick with edge. Good. Oh, yep. Fine. That's not good. Let's go on this one. Go like this. So. Like I said, we can fix these, make them a lot nicer down the road, but no need to get stuck in it. Keep going like so, getting these lines here, smoothing them. Have a nicer hand when we do. Put that out, like here. Put that out. Here, smooth it out. Have this like so. And I'm gonna select all in edit mode, Alt N. Alt N. I'm gonna recalculate outside. That's gonna make sure the normals are facing the right direction. So I'm gonna do some sculpting at this point. I'm gonna pull this and smooth this. Oops. Okay, yeah, so when you're doing sculpting one side, like a hand or something that's not symmetrical, you want to turn that off. Super important. You'll end up moving things around that you didn't want to. this part here under the thumb. Flip that out a little bit, going like that. Now I'm gonna use this guy here to do me some inflating on the knuckles a tad. Like so, and I'm gonna inflate the top hand. That's the upper part of the hand, and usually is kind of a little bit inflated compared to the down part. And I'm gonna inflate this area here, and then this spot here. Nice. Okay, do some inflation on this side here, and I'm gonna smooth between the fingers. Like that. I'll smooth it out. Add a little bit of inflation here underneath it. Alright. That's good. We can always do a little bit more fixing, but let's just move ahead. Now, this hand, as you can see, has a ton of verts. We can't get rid of a lot of it, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start merging these together, and I'm gonna try to match these. So now we have the center one. We want to merge these to match that one. Gonna select these three, match this one. Select these three, match that one. Center, grab these three, match that one. And these three can match that one as well. And I think we got, oops, yep, somewhere along the line I merge these two here. Yep, not what I wanted. This one. Merge that. Let's do it again. Go, like so. These three merge, and we have what we want. So at this point, I can turn this on and go here. Merge that there, go here, merge that there. I can grab this one like so. Over here, go down to this one. Yep, perfect. And we can grab this here. Like so. Actually, let's leave that one. Yeah, seems it modifies way too much, and just gonna try to avoid fixing unnecessary things at this point. So just move these, merge them. Oops, go all the way here, merge them. Yeah. Okay, so now we have a lot less birds that we don't need to deal with. We can move these to the side. Perfect. Good enough for now. Now we have the birds all aligned. Go to the top mode, rotate this hand a tad. Now it's align it like so. And we're gonna select this and join them. Actually, let's apply this first. Now let's join it and do first to last, 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 and first to last. Awesomeness. Now we can do a relax here. Relax, relax, Okay, maybe not that much, but we can do this one. And this relax part is just to make that connection smoother. Like so. Nice. Oh, you can go in here a little bit, do the grab tool and kind of polish it a little bit more. Get it this down, thicker. Pull these out of that forearm and then smooth this side out. Smooth it out at the bottom a little bit. Okay, we are good. Now I'm gonna pull this nugget here. It's gonna be the elbow. Right. Seems to be smooth out. Got that elbow going. Let's pull a little bit of the knee. This side here. Let's pull tight of the knee here. Boom. Safe. And now turn this on again. I'm gonna auto mirror. Oops. Okay, so you need to be in object mode, select it, and then you can mirror. And there we go. Got our hands attached. Nice size fingers. Next part is going to be adding the feet, which let's go check our references and see what we have. You can do some feet like this, like kind of tuning or flat. I like those, are kind of cool. We can also do these. I think I'm gonna go with something like so. So I feel like these, I'm gonna extrude down, pull, put this that forward. I'm gonna lower this a bit, and let's grab these, kind of pull them forward like that. And we have some tuning style feet. Really good. Not a lot to do here. What I would do is add these cuts here. These are going to be for the toe area. Like that. And then I'm gonna do another cut there. Yep, this is gonna be for the toes. Oh, that's perfect. Now we're gonna add another loop here for the feet joint. Forget the name of it. And let's rotate it a bit. Go like so. And pull this. Forward this one a little back. Good. Very good. Let's go this guy here. Just make sure it's all flattened out. I want to have issues. Flatten them all out. Okay, the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to start cleaning up a little bit of the legs here and have this turned on. Also something I'm going to be doing. Can I create this here? And then I'm going to actually merge. Let's see how that plays out. I feel like I'm gonna have to add an extra bird that I don't want to add, but might have to. So for now, what I want to do is this point is I want to go from here all the way here and kind of do that. Now we have to play with this here. Scale 0, lower it. Yep, we're gonna have to add another one here. Scale 0. And then here. And rotate this a bit. Move it a little bit more to the center. Pull this up. Good. Pull this up there. Good. Pull this up. Okay, and at this point we have that edging right there, so that's part of what I wanted to have. I have this as well here. And then we're gonna pull these in. So we're doing the inside stomach part. And another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this from here. I'll pull this up. Yep. Okay. So, this could use some help here. Okay. Now this is asking for something here as well, but I think we can just add this one here. This here is not good, so I'm gonna have to see how to complement this. Probably just continue this here and get rid of a couple of these. If this can continue here, we can continue this here, and you can merge a last, and then we can move this here and go like so. And still we have 4, which I'm not entirely happy about, but we can leave it as that. It's okay. For now it's alright. So let's pull this up, make that kind of cavity chest down there. Move you up. Good. And gonna add another one. And this one's gonna help me create kind of the area of, I don't know, how is it called? Maybe the esophagus or something like that. There's this area here that holds the rib cage. I can get rid of these as well. I don't need those. I'll pull them up though and tab here. There we go. And let's grab these guys and pull them like that forward. Yeah, maybe we can do another one here. Just for good bending so it doesn't fight with the other birds. can do a relax there, relax here, and then relax there. Alright, cool beans. Okay, so far we got this back here inflated. After we rig it, that should bend nicely and be that kind of nice back. So at this point we have 5,000 try count, which is super nice low poly model at this point. Okay, very good. If we turn this off without a smooth and get rid of the cavity, you can see it's a nice smooth model. We can do some nice hand paint here to find those. So I think last thing before we do some rigging for testing is I'm gonna finish up the inside of the mouth. Here, and we're gonna extrude on the Y as the Y0, line that out, and then we're gonna still again scale on the Z, rotate it a bit, scale again on the Z, make it larger, doing the rotation. We're kind of doing that inside of the mouth throat area. So like that, and then with this one I'm going to scale it down and I'm going to close it. Cool. So now I'm going to do some relaxing to spread those out evenly and nice. So and now. Okay, good. Now we have an inside of the mouth, so we can add some teeth too. So you're gonna do super quickly. Grab these guys here. Now you. Okay, so we're gonna duplicate you. P. Gonna select you. All. So that's Z. 0. Scale down. Gonna extrude. No, actually we're not going to extrude. We're going to add, well actually we can extrude, it's no need because we're still going to be heading inside, doesn't matter. Yep, so we're going to extrude that, it's going to be your teeth. Now I'm going to actually pull like so, make them a tad smaller. I'm going to pull them back as well, there. Gonna duplicate, Control M to mirror on the Z, and now I'm gonna pull it down. And we have our lower part teeth. So let's put that there. I'll select this one and move it down. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start moving these down. Maybe easier with this. So I want to move the lips down and kind of close them. Let's go to maybe edge mode is a lot easier. Yep, that was easier. Okay, so let's do a little relaxing here. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's apply it and go to edit mode and do a relax again. And do a relax again. And do a relax again. Let's put this. Move this up. Up. Hey, perfect. Now we selected our mirror, apply it. In case we did something one side that we didn't want. So at this point we got teeth. The only thing we might want to add is maybe a tongue. And what we do is we're gonna grab these guys here, all the way down back here. I'm gonna duplicate it, P to separate, and let's just select it. So, our tongue there. Now on edge mode, let's select these and relax them. Add a modifier, solidify, offset, make it thicker like so. Yeah, even thickness, that's a good idea. That's good. And now we can subdivision, and we have a tongue. Super simple. Just apply those. We have a tongue there. What I'm gonna do is actually bend it out like so, and maybe pull it out a little bit, lift it up a little bit. So it's a bit flattened. You can see it. Yep. Okay, perfect. Last thing is we're gonna make some eye sockets, some eyeballs. Alright. Cursor to select it, save. Let's do some sphere. Turn this off and make these 18. Right, 8. Yeah, that's good. Gonna rotate on the eyes. Edit mode. Go it down. So on the side view, you want to kind of have that hidden as possible. So something we can do is scale on the Y and kind of push it in a bit, so it's not so noticeable. Pull it back a bit. Yeah, in that way you can see the eye still, but not super out there. Now let's grab these, and I'm going to X. I'm not gonna turn this like so. The reason I do that is because I want to have this kind of flat area surface that I can paint an eye on. When you have all those lines in there, sometimes it gets annoying, so that's why I just clean that up and make it so it's more of an iris shape. Okay, so we're gonna Control A, all transform. I'm gonna auto mirror, save it, apply it, go here, Control J, and merge it. And at this point, we have full on eyes and all that of our character. Turn this on, you can notice the edges. We have mouth, teeth, tongue, we have teeth, we have the hands and the feet. Last thing I think we're gonna do is on this guy is to pull out a tail. So now let's react this guy. Oops. Clean that up, and that's it. There we go. Let's do a little rotation. Scale it, go like so, go it down. I'm gonna use this tool here. It's called Extrude Region, and it's gonna do extrude to cursor. So what I'm gonna do is go like this. Not too much, like this. We have a crazy long tail. Or maybe make it smaller as we go. super cool. You have a nice tail there. And I'm gonna make this larger. I'm gonna make this larger here as well. Turn that a circle, make it larger. Over the cell. Nice. Alright. So next up, we're gonna do some rigging. Alright, so we are at the point of rigging. Let's go ahead and start doing some rigging here. Let's see if I'm missing anything. I'm gonna go ahead here and enable wireframe, and that will allow me to see the mesh itself and see if there's any odd hiccups that I probably need to fix. Like for example in the fingers here, I might need to fix these. Oh, I'm still on this tool. Okay, back here. Probably gonna have to fix these before anything. Because when we're gonna do the rig and the bending starts, it's gonna bend or try to bend towards the direction of the loop. So it's a good practice to have all the loops facing the correct way. That's fine. So in this case, I think I kinda got these messed up, and this should go a tad up like the other ones. I'll go with this and a little bit up. Okay, let's see. That much is not bad. Let's get do a little fixing, but not entirely horrible. Just a little bit there. Yeah, I'm actually gonna kinda make that a little bit bigger, and I'm going to relax this a tad. Okay. So this should be a little bit in here as well, and this guy should be here. This closer here, so when the bending happens, it'll bend in there. This in here, I think mostly the bird is the one that is off. So like that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, doing good here as well. Move these guys out. Double G to keep moving this all on the edge and line them on the edge itself, so the loop has the nice edge flow, just flows through like here. So this is good, perfect. Save, and I think we are where we want to be. Okay, so I'm gonna do rigging at this point. Maybe I should do the helm thing first. So I'm still not sure if I want to go ahead with the hair or the helm. This tail, actually let's do the tail. which is doing this scaly part. I'm gonna go like so. So first we're gonna duplicate this one, separate it. We're gonna duplicate this one, separate it, duplicate, separate with P, duplicate, and separate with P, duplicate, separate with P, duplicate, separate with P, and so on. Because what we're gonna do after, we're gonna add solidify to these, separate, and we're gonna manage the size on each. Okay, perfect. So we have all these separate right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add solidify. Gonna flip it over. Only rim because I wanna then I'm gonna merge it after. So only wanna have the outside even thickness. And we're gonna make this large enough, but we don't want it to clip a lot there. So 0.2 sounds like the winning number. Solidify. So now we're gonna do the same on the rim, even thickness. Instead of 0.2, we're going to do 0.18. Nope, 0.16. Let's see, 0.16. It sounds good. Now we're gonna do the same. Solidify, go over, and this time we're gonna do 0.14. And as you can see, it starts to get this scaly part, which we're gonna modify after. Do that again. Modify 0.1 thickness. Just keep going on all of them. 0.08. Solidify. We might have to add more, but we'll see how it goes. Because we still have a couple more to go. I don't think we're gonna have enough. 0.04. And then here 0.02. And we're kind of left with these here. So I think we're gonna end up doing more. 0.3, 0.2, 0.25, 0.2, 1.8, 0.18, 0.16, 0.14, 0.12, 0.08, good, 5, 0.06, 0.06. That's not what we want. So that is 0.04. 0.02. And that one stays like that. So now what we're going to do is we're gonna go like this. Oh no, we gotta apply them separately. Apply these. There's actually an add-on to apply the multiple modifiers at once. I don't have it, but sounds like a really good add-on to have. Part of the cool things of Blender that I enjoy a lot is just being able to have add-ons that do a lot of the hard work for you. So what I'm doing is I'm going to select all these faces, this lower part, here. And I'm actually gonna get rid of them. Like so. Here and then delete faces. Nice. We have that kind of scale feel over there. Okay, so another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here and I'm going to kind of expand them a little bit and move these edges over. So it has more of a scale type feel. Yep, that's looking pretty cool. Nice. Everyone. Again, the point of this tutorial is to give you guys ideas on how to do multiple things and still maintain the humanoid rig that we're gonna do, because that's basically the basis of most VR avatar rigs. Or oops, what is this? Did I get something extra in there? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, most of these VR avatars are based on the humanoid rig. There we go. Actually looks very trippy, like it. Maybe you want to do well, the tip is nice. Let's just leave it like that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and go like this and join it together. And one thing I'm gonna do is gonna go into edit mode, select it all, go to my vertices, mesh menu here. Oh, let's turn this off here. Mesh menu and the cleanup here. Gonna merge by distance. You see, remove 154 vertices. That means that all these guys down here, these dudes, they got all merged together, which is super awesome because it just saves us a bunch of verts that we didn't need. Now, you see these here are open. You might see them transparent depending on the shader that you use. So if you're gonna use a shader that doesn't have a double side, you might want to go ahead and fill these up, because then you'll have these holes that are gonna be a mess to you. But I'm gonna use a double-sided shader that should work. Oh, no problem there. Okay, so we got our tail. Let's go ahead and do some, maybe a little bit of a suit type thing. Let's check that out. So it has a suit here. Guy doesn't have a suit. Where's the other one? I had another one. This is the golem. Well, actually, I'm not gonna use the golem. I think we can do some kind of suit here. So the way I do clothing is, actually, I'm gonna rig this first before I do any clothing. Let's do rig it, because clothing, rigging clothing over an avatar is unnecessarily hard if you can just have it rigged before and you just make the clothing from what's already rigged. It's so much easier. Okay, so in edit mode, I moved my avatar on top, and let's move my cursor to world origin. So I want to move my avatar and have, there we go. Okay, cool. You see, I left the tongues down there and the teeth. Let's see, because they are not part of, yep, they're separate, so we want to merge those as well. Let's grab the teeth, apply the mirror, join it, grab the tongue, join it, save it. Okay, now in edit mode, we can select all and move our avatar all the way up here. And we want to have it just a tad left. This part here is gonna go under the ground, and it helps to avoid levitation with some animations. So I just always leave like a little bit that will go under the ground. But for now, this is super good. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to do a quick humanoid rig and from scratch. But there's add-ons that are super good. If you wanna get an add-on that is paid and has an auto rig system, Auto Rig Pro has a smart rig, which is like super simple. Again, this is not, I'm not getting money for promoting these add-ons, but I wanted to let you know that there's options if you don't want to do some hard work. So for humanoid rigs and certain rigs, this is super simple. You just kind of like mix mode. You select points and it'll rig it for you. But if you don't have this, then the other option is you have, let's go to object mode. The other option is that you have meta rig, which is the Rigify. This is the Rigify rig from Blender itself, and that also is a pre-made rig that you just kind of put and align the bones to the pieces and on the body. But at this point, Rigify, for me, you really want to have some knowledge before you go into it, because there's a lot of extra bones that you're not going to use, so you want to be able to delete them. But I'm just going to show you what are the bones that are the most common ones and the least bones that you need to make a humanoid rig. And I made a video about the rigging part before, and it's basically the same thing. Okay, so let's start with a single bone. Go here to the armature viewport, and I'm gonna enable axes and then front. Okay, axes is gonna let me know if we move this to local here. This is gonna let me know, and post mode, if it's gonna rotate the correct way. So we want the spine, in this case, let's go to edit mode. Let's move our spine to where it should be. This pose right here, right there. Let's go into pose mode, and the spine should rotate on the X forward. That's the correct way. So you want to have the X on this side, facing that way, or crossing on this side. Okay, so go back to edit mode. This is gonna be my rib bone. Let's do lower caps. I'm gonna extrude my spine 001, spine here, spine 002. I'm gonna do extrude my chest all the way to the neck, chest piece. Now extrude my neck. Now I'm gonna move to my X view and align my neck. This is called the neck. Extrude with the head. Nice. So I got foundation laid out. Now from this bone here, I'm gonna extrude all the way up here. This is gonna be called hip.L, left side. We see them from behind, so this is left and right. So when you're working on a model, usually you work left and right, because technically most characters are gonna be seen from this side. So, but I mean, you can do it however you want to do it. It doesn't matter to the software. That's just I guess how I learned it. Okay, so you got your left, hip left, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate, Shift D, and move this bone here, grab the head, move it all the way down, And you see the X? The X it's literally facing the wrong way. We want the X to be facing like this because we want it to bend that way. So we're gonna Control R and rotate it like so. Then you can do Alt R to reset it. Perfect. Now I'm gonna, from the side view, move this a little bit forward. Okay. Now we're gonna select this guy, Shift select the other bone, Control P, and keep offset. That's gonna create this line here. That means that in post mode, if I move this bone, it's gonna move the one that is attached to it. But it's connected, but it's not connected to the bone itself, so it just maintains the relation between them. So that's what keep offset means. Okay, let's go to edit mode. Now here, you want to follow that bend of the bone. You need to have this bend in the rig. This is what tells the VR system which way the leg it's gonna bend in regards to the IK that it uses. Okay, so let's name this leg.L. This one is, you can even name it knee or lower leg.L. That works as well. From here we're gonna extrude, and this one's gonna be the feet or foot.L, and then extrude forward, and this guy's gonna be named toe.L. Perfect. And very important, you want to give it the, you know, the letter that is gonna tell the system which is left and which is right, because then when you wanna do the other side, you don't have to do it by hand, you can just mirror it, and because you added this, it's gonna detect which side it is, and it's gonna flip it and flip the names for you. That's very important. So now in this case, we're gonna go to the neck here, and from this bone, I'm going to extrude. Yeah, I think here is good. Let's see. Yep, seems good. So this is gonna be our clavicle or shoulder, however you want to name it. I call them shoulders. So shoulder.L, and then I'm gonna duplicate it and put my bone where this here is gonna be where I want my bone to bend from. It's gonna be the pivot point. So let's move this guy here. Yeah, and you're gonna be called arm.L. Now you see the relationship line, it's connected to the chest. We don't want that. We want to select, shift select the shoulder, Control P, keep offset on the shoulder. So that way when we move the shoulder, it's gonna move the arm as well. See? Perfect. Now I'll go back here to edit mode, extrude. Now we're gonna make sure we go from the top view and we have this bend happening. There. You want to have that as aligned as possible. This should go here because this is the bending line that we want, and I'm gonna extrude all the way down here. So this one is the forearm.L. This one is the hand.L. Perfect. Okay. Now before I do the fingers, I'm gonna go ahead and do the tail. For the tail, I'm gonna do an extrusion from this bone here. I'm gonna extrude it on the Y. Go to my side view. Go like so. This one's gonna be called tail. So I'm gonna draw a bone for each of these connections. That's where it's gonna bend. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just throw one for each connection. And since I named the first bone, the other bones are getting the same name and just getting a duplicate number so it's no different. So these like so. Perfect. Now it's in the center. Looks great. Now we're gonna enable the magnet here and go here and enable volume, do center, and that should be fine because we're gonna go ahead and work in the fingers. Going to my Z view, and the fingers we want to keep the bone inside. So this helps you. This setting just tells them from the volume of the mesh, try to find the center and keep it projected to inside the center of the volume of the mesh, basically. So let's grab this bone, duplicate it, and move it. I'm gonna have my first bone here. This is the knuckle. Now I'm gonna shift, select this guy, keep offset so it's offset to the hand. Now let's move this, and you remember those 3 lines that we built? You're gonna make them. You're gonna put the bone right there. So let's name this one index.L. Again, you really want to name these bones. Super important for the humanoid rig. Now this is gonna be the other index. Perfect. As you can see, it's trying to keep the center. So it's doing its best to keep the center. Sometimes it kind of moves around, but you can always fix it. It's not a big deal. Like that. Okay, now as you can see, we have an issue here. Currently, our bone, this one is good. This one is going to pause mode. Let's say we want to bend on the X. That's bending good. Let's bend on the X. Okay, so here's the thing. Remember, we want to have these bend correctly. So that's very important. The hand, if we bend on the X, it shouldn't bend that way. The hand bends that way, right? So we're gonna control, go to edit mode again, control R to rotate and flip that. We need to have the hand bending this way, like so. And the same for the arm, because the arm should be bending this way. Okay? And the same for the shoulder. Okay? I have the shoulder bending the correct way. So you want to rotate those, keep the X where it should be, because this rotates this way, like so. This one is good, and this one is good because it rotates this way. You see? Goes like that. So let's test it out again. Go to pose mode, rotate on the X, perfect. Rotate on the X, perfect. Rotate on the X, perfect. That's what we want. Now, gotta do it the same for the fingers. Fingers, the X should be this way. So let's rotate it. Then Alt R, and it should try to reset based on the parent. But most of the times it's not perfect, so you gotta do a little bit of the work, but no problem. So, okay. So now what we're gonna do is go back up, duplicate it, and rename it middle L. So as you can see, it has the correct rotations at this point. So when we extrude, it will maintain the rotation as much as it can. So it'll try to do the best it can to maintain the aspect and the rotation. It's good to always check your rotation before you start doing a lot of things, so you don't end up having to rotate every little part. Okay, so sometimes this doesn't allow you to move certain bones around the correct way, so you turn it off a little bit and you can have a little bit more flexibility. Like I wanna, I wanna kind of pull these guys a little bit up. Yeah, perfect. Let's turn it back on. Move it here. This guy's gonna be called ring.l. Good to go. We're gonna extrude. Remember, we want to try to keep ourselves within those lines that we made. And extrude again. And move a tad up. Good. Save. Let's do the pinky. This is why I do rigging of the hands glass, because it takes a little bit. It takes a while to get it. So you see these fingers are a little bit rotated. You want to make sure you rotate them according to the finger itself. Okay. Go like this guy as well. Just a little bit like that. Okay, good. This one's called pinky, or little finger, however you want to name it. I think the conventional ones are little and pinky. Pinky usually works for me. I have an issue with it, so you can use that one if you like. And go like this, go like so. No, let's just do one by one. Pull it up a little bit, pull it up a little bit. And I feel like this guy needs to go down a tab. Okay, so now we're gonna finish up with the thumb. Thumb.l, perfect. Grab our thumb here, and our thumb has only 2 bones. If you, but we're counting this one as the joint one, so got it. Now the thumb, so remember we wanted to bend the correct way, so if we go rotate on the X, it rotates this way, so we need to do some rotations here for the bone. So it's gonna rotate that way. So we can reset it and reset it. See if it rotates the correct way now. Oops. Plus 1, okay. Rotate. Still rotating the wrong way. See? Okay, oops. Gotta go to edit mode. Okay. Rotate. There. So if I'm not mistaken, so we can rotate this way, we need to have it sometimes I kind of get confused. So this way rotates forward, so if I'm looking at it, it should rotate to me. Looking at it, so this should be the way. Okay, so now let's reset this guy. Sometimes it doesn't work, so you have to do it by hand, and do this by hand. And save. Now let's go to pose mode and try again. Rotate. Rotate on the X. Rotate on the X. Okay. Perfect. So all should be working accordingly. We have everything named. Now if everything is named correctly, we just need to go ahead and you know what, for VR chat, we have eyes. So let's do those eyes as well for VR chat. There's a duplicate here. Or in post mode. Okay. So let's duplicate the head. Put it here. Just turn this off. Yeah, so we can go ahead and go like that. And you wanna put the back of the bone literally on where you want the eye to pivot from. So if you put the bone here, it's gonna pivot from here out, and you don't want that. You want to pivot it from behind, so it moves inside the socket. So this guy is gonna be called I.L. Okay. All right. Cool beans. So that's good. We got that all set up. So Control A. And we go to object mode. No need to select that. Right click. Actually, yeah. So we need to be So we need to be in edit mode. We select with A, select all the bones. Right click, and we're gonna do symmetrize. And magic just happened. It'll duplicate perfectly to the other side with the names changed to R for the right side, and when you check your rotations are good to go. Nice. So last thing to do here is to select it. Make sure you have your armature selected first. Control P and set parent to automatic weights. Now we can go to post mode and check our guy. Good stuff. It's like, I don't care, right? Very nice. So let's check up here, bend on this side. Just making sure things are bending the correct way. Everything seems to be bending the correct way. Let's check the tail. I did not check the tail, but let's see. Rotate on the X. Perfect. Rotate on the X. Nice. And it's bending perfectly. Alright, so let's turn this off wireframe. Let's go outside. And let's hide the armature. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the clothing part. Let's do some clothing for this guy. Just a little suit. And maybe do the bubble part, the bubble helmet. And then do some texturing, and we are ready for export. So I hope this video was really helpful. The next part, we're gonna finish up polishing with the helmet and all those little tricks that might come to mind to optimize the character and make it have a nice personality. Gonna do some blend shapes for lip syncing, and we're gonna do some texturing. So that's gonna be part 2 of this little series called How to Make a VR Avatar. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.